it's Angel Vane, and this is episode 50 of my author's diary. Y'all, this week I realized I've been in denial. Now, I'm a person who thinks I know myself. I know the way I think. I know the way I work. I know the things that I have to have in place to produce the best out of myself. I consider myself analytical. I'm structured. I have to-do lists. I have trackers to maintain things and to keep track of my progress. I'm goal-oriented, and I get all of that process in place, all of that structure in place, and then that allows me to just crank through stuff. And I realized this week, after stalling out on writing book 3 of the Hero in Paradise series called The Fallen Hero, that I don't know myself at all when it comes to my writing. That structure, that analytical piece, all of that stuff has not been working for me. It's been too much structure. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. So I was humming through April, humming through May, and got to May 11th. I was 50% done with The Fallen Hero. I was feeling good about myself, yes, if I do say so myself. And so I hit like a little stumbling block because I looked at all of this stuff that I had plotted out, each individual scene of the last half of the book. And I'm reading it and I'm like, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need, okay, this doesn't fit anymore, that doesn't fit anymore, okay, that's completely wrong because it doesn't fit with how I've written stuff already, and none of it works anymore. And you think, okay, well, how can that happen? How can that happen to me? So I went back, for the past 2 weeks, I've been kind of, because I'm analytical, right? So I'm like, let me go back and try to analyze what's been happening. And so what I realized is that there's about 5 or 6 critical points that I know up front. Like, I plot them out up front. These are the stakes in the sand that have to happen to get me from where the book starts. You can't see my hand. From where the book starts, where the book ends. And then I have about, those are 2 points, and then I have about 3 or 4 other points within that are like my guideposts so that I know I'm on the right track to get to the ending that I want. Right? And so when I look back on when I wrote The Accidental Hero and when I wrote The Relentless Hero, which will be out in a week, go out there and get it. Those 5 or 6 points that I established up front at the very, very beginning, those still are in the books. But all of those scenes that I had put and stitched in to see how I get from each one of those points to the next point to the next point, all of that stuff was different. It didn't match the outline that I came up with. And so I have this structured way of framing how I write my stories where I plot out every scene. Like, I have 45,000 word outlines, 25,000 word outlines with each scene like written out. And I go back and I look at it and I'm like, this is not the way you did it. It's not the way you did it. And I feel like I've wasted time. I've wasted time trying to outline and plot out each scene of the book in its entirety before I start writing, not understanding that I like having that freedom. I like having freedom of knowing how I'm going to get from those main one, the first point to the second point and to the third point. Like, I like having that freedom. It's just like if someone said, hey, you need to go from Tomball to Sugarland, right? Opposite ends of Harris County. Well, Sugarland's not even in Harris County, but you know what I mean. So from Tomball, North Houston, north of Houston, to Sugarland, south of Houston. Well, I can probably tell you 5, 6, 7 different ways that you can get from Tomball to Sugarland, right? And so what I've done is I've plotted out one way in a detailed outline of getting from Tomball to Sugarland. And then as I start writing, I'm like, I don't want to go that route. I want to go this route. And I want to go that route. And I get to the end and I'm like, oh, but I still got from point A to point B, so I'm good. But a lot of the stuff in between had changed. And I really realized now that I've got to give myself that creative flexibility to change the route along the way as long as I keep hitting each of the major points of my destination. Why did it take me so long to figure this out? Why? So that's where I am right now, working on the fallen hero, trying to reconstruct the end of the book, navigating a new pathway to get to the main destinations that'll get me to the ending that I'm trying to get to. And actually, that's the part that's fun about writing. So I can't be too upset with myself for letting my creativity just run wild. So just wanted to share that I had been in denial, but now I have seen the light. And it's so weird to be talking about a book 3 when I have a book 2 that hasn't even come out. It's coming out in a week. So I really hope that you guys go out and check out The Relentless Hero. I think it's extremely entertaining. I think you're going to enjoy it. And I don't know what else to say. So, if you want to continue to keep up with me and all the ups and downs that I go through as I try to write and publish new books, click the subscribe button. Then don't forget to click that little silver bell so that you won't miss when I'm doing a video. And I will see you next time. Click the button to follow me on Facebook, or just check back here every Wednesday when I post a new video, and I will see you next time.